Hi everyone, welcome to the IoT Hero Show, my weekly showcase of thought leadership in the Internet of Things. My name is Tom Raftery, I'm the Global IoT Evangelist for SAP, and now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome to the IoT Hero Show. I'm here at SAP d-kom in Karlsruhe, and with me I have Markus Richter. Markus, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Markus Richter. I'm working in the sports and entertainment area of Stefan Wagner and responsible there for research and innovation in the sports area.
Okay. Now, sports isn't something that people would traditionally associate with SAP. What is SAP doing in the sports area?
So SAP is doing a lot in the sports area. Sports and technology gets more and more relevant for sports, on being at least on the world class. I mean, SAP is sponsoring the DFB, the German football league, football federation, and they won the World Cup with them. And but we also do a little bit more little projects. For instance, a rowing federation, and put sensor technology in that.
Okay, so sports is becoming more instrumented, and this is why we're having the conversation on the IoT Hero Show, because it's an IoT show. Can you tell me a little bit about where you're seeing interesting examples of players being instrumented?
Yeah, so cheat jumping was always the primary sport where sensor technology has a major background in history. So the eastern part of Germany, they were the leading country with a lot of sensor technology. They had in the beginning the size of a fridge put in on the back, and then cheat jumping. Obviously,
but that can't have helped the ski jumpers jump very high.
No, but at least they get some data, and it helps to get technology in the sport. But with the event and momentum of all the wearables now, it gets more and more relevant for any sports.
And what kind of data are you looking for in ski jumping or in any sport?
So it depends on the sports type we are looking for. Rowing, for instance, what I mentioned in the beginning, is a sport where technology and sensor especially is very key for being world class. If you don't have that technology, you cannot watch it just by TV and detect any pain points. You really have that objective measurements.
This is all new, though, for sports organizations, and suddenly they're getting presented with data. Do they know how to interpret the data? What's good data? What's bad data? What's a good heart rate range to be in? What's a bad one? How do they know what to look for?
Yeah, that's a learning process right now. They have a lot of data, but it's very complicated for them to get a mean out of it. And sports like rowing, they do it for a long time, or skiing, but even nowadays with beach volleyball, sensor technology gets more and more present. I mean, the Olympic gold medal, the women, they did some studies about their foot pressure in the sand, whether it's soft or not soft. So they wear wearables under their feet and jump and try to detect what the best technique is.
So, I mean, you mentioned that the East German ski jumpers and wearing something the size of a fridge almost on their back, and sensor technology we know has come on a long way, but you're saying now that the beach volleyball players can wear something in their shoes or on their socks or whatever that doesn't impede their performance? For the
shoes and the socks, it does impede. It has an impact. So it's probably just for a study and to find out. But wearing a watch that has sensor technology inside, and you can calculate your jump height in a game while you have the stress in it, and how the stress is have an impact on the reach. That can be analyzed now, and it would not harm you by executing the sport. And that's actually the very critical point. There's a lot of ideas and a lot of sensor technology out, but it has to be always fit with the sport itself. The fridge it's an extreme example, but it has to be very smooth, and athletes are very picky on picking up technology for that.
Okay, and so the data that's being collected, is it data for the individual? Is it data for the team? Is it data for the coach? How does all that play out? Where does the data go? What's the ecosystem around it?
So both cases are applicable. So the individual data and as a team relevant. So if you want to perform a team, you have a set of individual players. And now, from a coach perspective, it looks like who is best on that position in that team, and you can rotate them. And now you have, but in fact, the team performance will decide over winning and losing. no matter how best an individual player can be, if he does not fit in the team will not win. So that's very critical, and they're starting to learn now to interpret the data. In earlier days, a trivial example was heart rate. For a long time, they measure heart rate. What they show, it's a heart rate curve, and that's it. Nowadays, they really interpret it and correlate this with other sensor information and make best out of it. How the muscles, the suspension is working on it. It's a heart rate variability. That has an impact on this. So a lot of things are correlating with each other. The human being, it's not digital 0 or 1. It's an analog animal. And you have
a whole holistic system to be analyzed.
Right. And the more you can analyze and the more you get out of the body, the better your forecast will.
Okay, interesting. And so I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume in the 2016 Olympics we saw a number of teams being instrumented. In the 2020 Olympics, it's going to be far different.
It will be more and more, and it's just not. And we are approaching more the aspect of the fan. I mean, today we are looking more in improving the performance of an athlete itself. Yep. But now everyone on the TV has a desire on getting that data visible for them and see how is he doing, what is he doing right now, how is he feeling? Because I can compare with my own vital data then.
Or the competitors.
Or the competitors, yeah. So we will see how much an athlete gives really present of his data, because you can read out a lot of things out of it. But at least the technology perspective into sports and reaching the fan, that's the way we see more and more in the upcoming years.
So the next financial battle in sports will not be over the TV rights, but over the data rights.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just the data. In Germany, we have just launched the new sports reform with the objective of promoting and giving more money to the sport that are likely to win more medals, which has a direct impact on how they can control their entire training system. I mean, obviously, if you have a sports that has not so much TV rights, and you get less money, but the coach still requires that amount of money, you cannot afford to have the same number of coach. So what you need is to automate a lot of things that would typically done by a human being as a coach. Now it needs to be in the system. And that's would be a challenge that it's coming more and more up now.
Okay, and where do you see this all going? I mean, we talked about maybe selling data rights to supplement, maybe teams using some of their data to supplement coaches, but also maybe using it to say, well, we're doing this much training, maybe we need more funding. But even beyond that, is everything going to be instrumented, and what are the impacts of that, do you think?
At least everyone is now trying to instrument everything what you can do in life. You're starting from your drinks, from your nutrition, everything. Even if you differentiate between the different nutritions, if you're eating some cake, what cake is it, from which vendor, how much fat it has, the proteins, everything is now treated. The question will be, what will be surviving in a way that it's human being doable. I mean, not everything what you can write down and analyze makes sense. In the end, a few things will left over. Which things, I don't know. That will be determined by the time.
Interesting. Fascinating. Markus, that's been great. Thanks a million for coming on the show.
Thanks.